like I haven't really been producing for too long as myself.
Still quite early in the journey.
Still quite early in the journey. You had to get in there.
Yeah. So speaking of the 4-track EP, we're on the final track, which is Come to You. Just tell us the process of writing that. And I think you released that as a single a little bit earlier before the EP. So tell us just the process of making that song.
So yeah, Come to You was the last song that I wrote on this EP. And I wrote it around end of 2018, like November 2018. And yeah, so this song was very personal to me because when I wrote it, I was definitely at a very low point in my faith. I was feeling very frustrated and ashamed at myself, specifically in the area of lust. I felt like I was disappointing God, disappointing myself in that area. And this song kind of was born out of that time and how I guess managed to see God's grace in that time, because I was just very low at that point, and I was I must have come across the verse in Psalms 121 verses 1-2, which says, I look to the hills, and where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord. And I just really that it just really hit me like in that moment, like more than any other time, because I'd read that verse before, but just really for that time, like the Spirit really spoke to me in that and through that, and it really encouraged me. And that was kind of when I felt compelled to kind of just jump on the piano and just some chords came together, and it was actually the quickest song that I wrote.
Wow! How long did it take?
It must have taken like 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. Maybe even less actually.
It just flowed and everything worked.
Yeah, it was one of those where it was really like obviously I made a bit of tweaks maybe after, but like in terms of the main ideas, I got together very quickly. And that's how I knew it. I mean, it was kind of just from the Holy Spirit kind of just helping me to write that, and I think it really helped me to get through that season and to move past just kind of that shame and kind of realizing that God's grace is there for me, and I just need to go to Him. I need to come to Him, and that's what the kind of idea of the song is. Yeah, it was very nice to be able to, I guess, collaborate, I guess, with other people on that track as well.
Yeah, tell us about the collaboration process.
Yeah, so the collaboration process was obviously a bit bizarre, because in this new COVID environment, it's a bit harder to collaborate with artists. So I think on the track, I knew that I wanted to have a percussion element, but I just didn't, because I haven't really been producing for too long as myself.
Still quite early in the journey.
Still quite early in the journey. You had to get in there.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still quite early, so I definitely wanted someone else to kind of come in and help me out with that. And amazingly enough, it was someone that I actually really respected and listened to. And he was in my Spotify for Artists Top 5 previous year, and I was like, wow, like, can I even get him? So when I hit him up, I wasn't really sure. Like, it was one of them ones, but man, thankfully we could make it work. The actual collaboration was quite interesting because we did it over Skype, because he's actually out in Philadelphia. So, who knows, maybe in the future I'll be flying for collaborations, yes. But I don't know, at this point, no. So it was just interesting because, I was kind of, to be able to kind of relay my ideas to him, I was literally tapping like my hands on the table and just trying to kind of get across the beats, which was just really bizarre, but in the end it worked. I was really kind of happy for that to be like my first collaboration with just anyone, and I'm just so happy that it kind of came out together in that way where it felt like a body of work and not kind of like disparate and kind of like, because sometimes if you're doing collaborations it can be kind of hard to make it feel kind of whole in that sense. So Yeah, and I've been really, really surprised about kind of the love that people have been showing on that track as well. And yeah, I've just really seen God's favor on it. So yeah, I'm really, really blessed by that.
You mentioned about the love that people gave you on that track specifically, but what have you heard so far from people about the EP? Because obviously it's still quite new since it's been out, but what have people been saying that they've been getting from it so far?
Yeah, I mean, I guess from what I've seen, I think people have appreciated. Yeah, I think they've appreciated the honesty of me sharing my faith in that way, and I think a lot of people probably can relate to what I'm talking about, and I think even just the way I started songwriting was through talking about relationships, and that was mainly romantic relationships. So when I was like 15, 16, that was kind of how I started writing. So for me, I think it was just natural for me to really speak into the main relationship that really matters for me now, which is my relationship with God. And I think it's really that element and that aspect that I think people, and I would really like people to understand. And I think that is what people are getting. And I think they're understanding that this is a body of work that kind of really speaks into my journey of faith being a relationship. So I think that, I've just been happy that people are really
getting that message.
Getting that message, and I've even had personal messages kind of encouraging me in that. So that's always really nice. And even just talking into that last track, "Come to You," where around lust and just kind of being open about that with people, I think people really valued that, and it kind of even just allowed me to have conversations with them where they were opening up and they were sharing things, and we were able to kind of speak life into each other's situations, which is always really encouraging.
It's really interesting that you said that, because I think the reason that you're getting people giving this kind of feedback or giving these kind of comments is because you can see how authentic you're being with the music. You know, you're telling your story, and even doing stuff like this interview where you're saying what was going on behind each of those seasons is so beautiful to experience, because not everyone does that with their music. So what is it about you and this EP that made you feel like, I'm going to tell the stories behind these songs?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that comment, and I think definitely in terms of my personality, I find that I am someone that normally does kind of wear their heart on their sleeve in a way, especially like when you know me on a one-to-one level. Maybe on socials I'm a bit more, I'm a bit more of a ghost on socials potentially, but definitely I think if you know me, I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve, and I like to just be honest and open, and I really value that transparency. And I think for me that's what moves me, and I think that's what moves a lot of people, is when they see the vulnerability in people, because it kind of gives people an avenue to open up as well, and have conversations that maybe are a bit harder and that people don't really talk about in the day-to-day.
Or even in the church. I mean, we are the church as well. Like, let's remember that. But just for us to remember that in the church, that's something that we want to be able to do, and that's something that we want to facilitate. And obviously, music can help to do that. So I think that's probably where that idea of, not even an idea, but just kind of the lifestyle of authenticity. The lifestyle, I like that.
And just being real. Because I think that's what really matters at the end of the day.
It's true.